Hey, it's Becky from Becky Reesor Music, and today we're showcasing a student composition, how it evolved from an idea to a concrete achievement. Terry's an adult student. He's focused on developing his overall music and piano skills in order to better play the music that he loves. One day in class, he surprised me by saying, "Hey, listen to this." And this first rendition of a piece that he had created, it was full of all these neat ideas. And it simply needed some balance and some organization to sound musical. So we started going back and forth, always with the two core values and questions. Number one, what do you want to hear? Number two, how can we make that into a balanced phrase with the correct amount of counts and organize it into the larger whole? We continued in this fashion until Terry was satisfied and it felt finished. He scored it, he recorded it, and surprised me yet again with this video in which he's also written a children's story to illustrate and accompany the piece. So take a listen and stay tuned at the end to not miss the story, The 3 Orphans and a Bear.
1, 2, 3.
One morning, Bear woke up and shivered. Things were changing.
he noticed the morning dew had become white and frosted the long grass in the meadow. The sun was sleeping later every morning and was going to sleep earlier every night. The green leaves began turning brown with age, and all the berries that he loved so much all summer long were very hard to find. Things were changing. Winter was coming, thought Bear. Winter is coming, Bear said to himself, and all my friends are leaving me alone. To Bear, winter was the loneliest time. All of his friends and family would just go to sleep for months and months. But no one showed Bear how to hibernate and sleep for months and months. In the winter, he had no one to talk to or visit, no one to take care of or to take care of him. On that same morning, 3 orphans woke in their beds in a small house in the deep, dark woods. They too were lonely and they were alone. Winter was coming and they had no one to protect them, keep them warm at night, tuck them in at night, and hug them in the morning. Every morning their feet would get wet and cold as they walked through the frosty dew to the meadow that once bloomed with spring flowers. And they would sing, first as a chorus, and their voices would rise in hope to the tops of the trees. The wind would carry the harmony, spreading their song of waking throughout the forest. Then in turn, each of the 3 sang single notes, calling for a guardian in a melody of yearning and welcoming. Bear was tromping through the woods on this particular morning when the orphans' voices were particularly strong and sad and hopeful. Bear tried to tromp on and ignore this beautiful sound, but in his heart, he felt his own voice trying to burst into the air. He wanted to sing. Curious, Bear crept toward the sound as quietly as a bear can. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. Bear paused and swayed in a sort of waltz. 1 step, 2 steps, 3 steps. The voices were so close, Bear could hear the orphans breathing. He stayed hidden in the woods. He knew a bear would scare the children. They would stop singing and run from him. Bear would be alone again, so he stayed at the edge of the forest, losing himself in the harmony. Before Bear could think, he began to sing. He sang only 1 note and waited until all 3 orphans sang their notes before adding his at the end. He grew brave. His voice became stronger. The children smiled when they heard the invisible note and how that note added something they needed to their song. As the children sang, Bear emerged from the trees. He slowly ambled to the children and greeted them with a new note, a new beginning to a new song. Together they created a new song of joining voices. Then they danced a celebration. The orphans spun in giddy circles, and Bear rose up on his back feet and roared his happiness to the woods. On that morning, cold with frosty dew on the grass and the sad smell of winter in the air, 3 orphans and a bear found each other. They kept each other safe and warm throughout the winter. They told each other stories and they made dreams together. They became a family, and every morning after, the bear and the orphans sang their song to the woods to remember this wonderful, wonderful moment.